Say what you like, cause I don't care. I know where I am and going to. It's somewhere I won't preview. Don't have to explain myself to you. I don't give two fucks about your review. Rock critics, more times than not, put their foot in their mouth way too much. They exaggerate the truth, or the non-truth. I've never believed one rock critic's recommendations. It has not steered me toward buying or not buying a piece of music. Robert Christgau, I'm looking at you. Paul Weller didn't believe it either. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to rock it up my own way. And if you don't like it, fuck off. Early on in the Jams period, their second album, This Is the Modern World. It may have been a disappointment to Jam fans after the aggressive, full-force punk nature that was In the City, the band's debut album, but it had its moments. Indeed, it was just as solid, and the title track was one of the best things about it. This Is the Modern World, released as the Jam's second album on the Polydor label 48 years ago this week, November 18th, 1977. So maybe Weller was in a rut. Bruce Foxton, on the other hand, his thunderous seismic bass wasn't. Rattling windows and old, creaky wood speaker columns everywhere. In the metal world, a lot of critics would certainly not give a good review to so many metal bands with grunting, unclean vocals. And it seems to be the norm nowadays in the modern world. Doesn't mean there's not room for melodic, old-school, straightforward metal, especially vocal-wise. Stephanie Jennings would never growl and grunt, with the best of the man singers who do so. Randy Blythe, we're looking at you. We've had plenty of instances of unclean vocals on the last few local lofts, including Felipe Sketch Alvarez of Scarzin. Stephanie Jennings comes from the old school without a doubt. She sings with a lot of passion and a lot of fire. Her voice is never irritating. There's some critics out there who may give her a bad review, but she won't give an F dash dash dash. We last talked to Stephanie back in March. Solar's new second full-length album, Frantically Calm, certainly presented a new direction, and not just vocal-wise for the band. I've got two more instances. We played the title track when we talked to Stephanie back in March. Solar's on display to once again relay this music to many in the modern world. It'll cost you very little to check them out on Black Friday. So if you're shopping around for a new metal sound, maybe it's one you haven't heard before. Not one where there's unclean grunting vocals and hardcore aggression aplenty. Take Solar seriously. Stephanie will be calling in once again as they get ready to rock Rookies Rock House in West Dundee on Black Friday, November 28th, with Indign, Strident Escape, and A Year Ago Today. Now, last week I reneged on my promise to let you know what A Year Ago Today is all about and where they got their name. Are they a nostalgic rock act? A cover band? No, they're not. I'll relay the story behind them as well. David Schenkel, he's already etched his place in rock history as guitarist of Manowar, not the prominent lineup of the New York-based melodic metal band who gave you Defender and Blow Your Speakers, Fighting the World back in 1987. The Demon came shortly after that to help out. But with Wings of Destiny, his brand new band, is the Demon channeling his inner Bob Dylan? Dylan once sang about hoping that Masters of War die. Yes, he wished death. I wouldn't say Schenkel and Wings of Destiny go that far to proclaim mortality. And it's not a cover. I'll give you their brand new single. Many of you, when you think of Solar and Stephanie Jennings, you think of Convoy, because the two have toured together. It was this week 15 years ago, way before I introduced you to Solar, I first introduced you to Convoy. Mike Getz, Makaloo G on drums, bongos in this case, and Brian Corbin. He plays a pretty mean, screaming lead guitar, but he left that behind as they did an unplugged set in our Cat 1055 studio. Local Loft episode 407. A lot of you don't give fucks about outside reviews. You want to form your own review, and want it to be a good one. To every original Chicagoland metal, punk, alternative rock, and power pop artist you hear.
One more thing before we go tonight. This week's Dateline Soundcheck with Solar performing Bridge of Stone.
I wish for a storm to suffocate my dreams of you. I wish for life inside. There's some pretty poignant lyrics here, pretty intelligent folks, but in more ways than one, Solar certainly is an advanced rock band, They really show their advancement on Frantically Calm. Now, I played the title track from this when I talked to Stephanie Jennings, lead singer, who in herself is a very advanced singer in more ways than one. Not just lead singer, but she can complement herself with her own harmonies. Not to say that the husband, Brad, does not add to the musical fixture here, because his vocals have really been coming up. He's been fine-tuning them, and they sound great as well, and they complement you. Solar cast a beacon on the stage at Rookie's Rock House in West Dundee on Black Friday. When Black Friday comes, I'm going to stake my claim. I guess I'll change my name. No, Donald Fagen never changed his name. He was still in Steely Dan, still made a name for himself back in the day, and Stephanie's not going to be changing her name anytime soon. It'll be the same Stephanie Jennings, but really a very advanced singer. And the whole thing is just advanced. The track that this time really caught my eye or ear, Stephanie, is Convoy. Maybe it's because you and Solar have been touring with Convoy for so long. It's not a song about, the guys in Convoy, that's for sure. It's a song about sensory overload. I'm going to let you explain how you came to write that one. It's a pretty futuristic number.
Oh, hey, Tim. Thanks for having me back on the show. It's great to talk to you again. Yes, the Frantically Calm album has been highly successful for us this past year, which released in March. And we do play so many shows with Convoy. They're dear friends of ours. And that song, as you said, those first lyrics when you open the show, was really about needing to be washed over sometimes by a convoy of something other than your own feelings, just to recenter yourself. And how it came to be titled by Convoy is kind of a fun story, Tim. We wrote the opening riff for that song, and we all looked at each other and said, hey, that has kind of a swampy rock sound like Convoy plays. And so we couldn't get that out of our head. And I said, you know what? If I can work the word convoy into the song, let's call it Convoy. And it was such a fun surprise when we dropped it on stage in front of Convoy, and they absolutely loved it. So we named it after their band, even though the song's not about their band.
You should get together with Brian Corbin and Mike Getz and John Daniel and Will Hart and maybe do kind of a duet kind of thing. I really
We
could
have
see that
talked
happening.
about it. Yes, we've talked about it. Brian and I work very well together, and our voices would mesh well.
It would be a nice superstar, multi-singer, multi-guitarist, instrumentalist kind of thing here. The one thing I got to ask you about your singing, Stephanie, and I base this on just personal experience as a radio personality of 30 years. We're always looking to improve, even though we think we've done maybe the absolute best work we can. We're always looking for improvement. Do you feel as a singer there's maybe some room for improvement in the future for your vocals, or do you feel that right now or in the future you're singing the best you can and you can't sing any better than that?
Oh, absolutely not. I will always continue to improve my vocal range and the power that I have. I always watch other singers, not only for performance techniques and tips and tricks, but I'm always listening and picking up ideas from other singers, national acts as well as local acts, to improve what I'm singing in the song. And in fact, Frantically Calm is the first of the 4 albums where I introduce some of my soprano range. I do some operatic notes, which I had not done on the earlier album. So that was a moment that I said I should really showcase some of this other range that I have, and maybe in the past I just didn't know how to do that. So always continuing to improve, and I will never probably reach full potential that I think that I have, because I don't know that I have it yet.
Do you feel the songs of the album are hard to produce on stage, convey on stage, given the meticulous production of the whole thing? Or do you feel that maybe you can work in those multi-vocal harmonies and it's not going to be where you don't have to use a backing tape or anything like that, or you can duplicate what you do backing vocal-wise as easily as you can the lead vocal-wise on stage? Do you feel that way?
I feel that everything you hear on the album, we play live. There may be an exception of a 3rd-part harmony, but Brad and I will always do a 2-part harmony wherever you hear it on the album. If there's a 3rd part, we just go less that 1 harmony on stage. We never use backing tracks. We don't have any sampling. Everything you hear on stage is live and raw and true to the album. So no, it's not hard to duplicate because that's what we play on the album.
You have a very natural voice. No auto-tune is required, and I know so many artists nowadays, even a couple local metal bands I've heard, soaked in auto-tune, and it's just it's not authentic. But your voice has always been there, always been natural, and you always keep it in great shape. The vocal pipes and the chords are working for you right off the bat. Black Friday, if you're shopping around for a rock band that's really going to captivate you and motivate you, it's Solar, without a doubt. But you're playing amongst a couple of different bands with different styles. Indign, for example, they're kind of a nice mixture, a unique mixture of melodic and also heavy, just like Solar.
Yes, and we're really excited. When Indign asks a band to play, you say yes. We had them out to Rockford in October on our bill, and so when they called and asked us to play at the Rock House on November 28th, we absolutely said yes, even though we had all agreed that we weren't going to play any more shows this year. We wanted to be back in the studio. But they are a powerhouse thrash metal band out of Chicagoland, as you know, Tim, that we weren't going to miss the opportunity to share the stage with them again. And also on the bill is A Year Ago Today and Strident Escape, also Northern Illinois, Chicagoland, also thrash metal band. Looking forward to playing with them for the first time.
Motor on down or fuel up the spaceship, the UFO, and fly on down on Black Friday. And, well, don't fill up on the turkey and stuffing and everything. And if you do, you better have a great plan of exercise. The moshing, the slam dancing, that'll dance off the calories right away. I want to thank Stephanie Jennings once again for talking to us and getting us ready for Solar's last show of 2025. I do have to point that out because, well, as you told me back in March, you're already working on the 5th album, the follow-up to Frantically Calm. There's no stopping Solar. There's no slowing you down, without a doubt.
Yes, we're excited about coming out with our 5th album, and this one is going to be a bit more unique than we've had in the past. So we're excited to put it out there.
We are looking forward to it, Stephanie, and thank you once again for keeping us up to date on everything Solar.
Thank you, Tim.
See
If you listen to Fools, the mob rules. Remember Ronnie James Dio and what he preached. During his second album with Black Sabbath, the transformation was complete. Ozzy to Dio, and then back to Ozzy much, much later in 2013. Mob action. I think they're talking more of a gangsta mob in this case. Not so much a mafia, but if you can have Metal Militia, why not Metal Mafia? A year ago today, they certainly draw inspiration farther back than just 2024. How far the calendar goes back, you'll have to decide when you check out A Year Ago Today, along with Solar and Indign, as the calendar flips ahead to Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, a week from this coming Friday, November 28th at Rookie's Rock House in West Dundee. I want to thank Stephanie Jennings from Solar for talking to us about her ever-evolving, eclectic, intimate, yet very tough vocal style and vocal delivery. And yes, a song about Convoy, about futuristic convoys that don't involve 18-wheelers and don't involve Mike McAloo Gets, John Daniel, Brian Corbin, and Will Hart. However, of course, where you find Solar, you can normally find Convoy, but not this time around. You will find Convoy at the end of this episode 407, in a rock back to the first time they played unplugged, losing none of the hard-hitting swamp metal energy of their debut album Reverse Sorrow. It wasn't too long ago that David Schenkel as Axeman Extraordinaire for Manowar, but this came after that New York metal band's breakthrough with Fighting the World. It came another 4 years after it, in 1991. The surroundings and storyline are very futuristic, a far cry from 1963, as the world was about to be thrown into the conflict in Vietnam. The message is still the same. I hope that you die, and your death will come soon. I'll follow your casket on a pale afternoon. Bob Dylan sending out a very stern, severe warning to those who wreak violent havoc on the world. Say terrorists, most certainly, above anyone else. In a futuristic world, not too far away from Lord of the Rings, and one of my favorite fantasy animated films comes to mind, Wizards, from Ralph Bakshi, who made a futuristic sci-fi world where good and evil clashed, and good won out, all with the help of wizard magic. And when an evil Hitler-esque dictator named Black Wolf tried to conquer what was left of the free world. That's pretty much the image I get in the lyric video for this one. Brand new and featuring He Who Is Timeless in his signature shredding, from Manowar to Grave Rain, whose second album is on the way, to Fiender to Wings of Destiny. David Schenkel has recorded a new album with them, first in almost 4 years. Here's the title track, Masters of War, featuring David Schenkel. It's Wings of Destiny on Local Loft.
Watching this my brain, we have awoken from our slumber. And we will come to your country and crack the foundation that you are standing on. Be ready.
no such thing as a winnable war. It's a lie we don't believe anymore. Sting certainly convinced many of us, but not all of us, that war is never winnable. I always thought that it was a no-victory thing right from when I saw computers blunder over trying to win a game of tic-tac-toe in war games. Remember that movie, Matthew Broderick? Grave Rain puts it into more technical terms and more advanced, futuristic scenarios. And who takes the blame? Our world leaders, those in power, the corporate heads. We failed. No, more like they failed. Grave Rain hasn't failed in getting out a follow-up album to Destination Aftermath, their debut, which I played the title track from. It has been completed. Will there be as many examples, mentally, and even visually if you use your mind's eye, of warriors going into battle, whether they're warriors on the animated battlefield a la Ralph Bakshi or J.R.R. Tolkien, or warriors in the corporate world, an icon of the accursed, as there were on Destination Aftermath? That still remains to be seen and heard. Tony Engel and David Schenkel have both listened back to the final playback of the second Grave Rain album. It's only a matter of time before war is declared once again. But so many other projects with the Demon, as I mentioned before, and a new Wings of Destiny album is amongst them. Masters of War. His flying Z-shaped axe is a weapon of mass rocking in this case, which can destroy many an upper foundation if your house is plaster, can't take the loud volume, so crank up with caution. When We Was Kids know that they can't win the battle of aging anymore, even though they're not exactly ready for the retirement home just yet, but their music certainly has matured since when I played you tracks from their self-titled debut EP, back when I had them in local Loft in 2018. The four-piece Cicero band call their full-length debut album A Maudlin Floor in Watercolor. That's F-L-O-R, by the way. Will it make you get out on the floor and mosh and slam dance your ass supreme? Yes, but it takes a while. There's extended instrumental passages. It's somewhat orchestral and symphonic to begin, but when it kicks in, the usual melodic hard rock and punk pop combination, which works so well for them. The new album was released on November 7th, and Friday night, November 21st, they'll get audiences old and young moshing along and slam dancing supreme. Along with Prison City Brigade, those ever-maturing punk rockers out of Joliet, Poundhouse of Schmucks from the Motor City, Badmouth, and Quantum, a band who certainly has stretched the limitations of three-chord punk rock to include extended funk instrumental jams. Quantum is releasing Quantum 4. Count how many fingers on each hand as to full-length albums they have out, and join them. Semitas Poldonis in Villa Park this coming Friday night, November 21st. A band who really moved forward and embraced melodic, young punk pop on their first EP 7 years ago has certainly come a long way. There's tracks with vernacular titles like Throwback, but the whole thing isn't a nostalgia trip. A Maudlin Floor in Watercolor is the band's first release in 6 years, following up Memoralia, which they released back in the spring of 2019. And now one of the intelligent, scientific titles, whose message it takes a while to get across when you're moshing and slam dancing so hard. Track 8 from the brand new When We Was Kids full-length album, Osmindius, on Local Loft.
About 3 weeks ago, I was diagnosed with a very serious condition called a common cough. It sucks. But if you guys will drink with me, we can all be friends and conditions together. The song's called Russia. It's coming out on a release that we're doing, so if you sell it and like it, then fucking ship it with us.
Metal rock tacos? Nothing punk about it. I'll explain in just a moment. But there's one you can use your imagination on, and best decide if you're an aficionado of either genre of metal. The modern day, hardcore, unclean, grunting vocal dominant version, or the more sophisticated, melodic, and totally clean, progressive version. I'm sure somebody, regardless of how much alcohol and how much ground beef and tortillas they have in them, will jump up on stage Saturday night at Semita's Plebunus in Villa Park and supply their own vocals if there isn't a singer. The Flying Luttenbachers. I'm sure one of you will provide your own moshing acrobatics to that particular song, with a title that means, watch how many treats, liquid or other, you consume on Saturday night. Id Vomit. Flying Luttenbachers are a three-piece progressive instrumental thrash metal trio out of Chicago's north side. Losing the War Inside Our Heads is their third EP released last summer. The Flying Luttenbachers, one of 4 bands, and this will become a norm. A Metal a Month show at Punk Rock Tacos, Semita's Plebunus in Villa Park, and that opportunity comes this coming Saturday, November 22nd. It's thrown by Rebel Radio King, PD, and head DJ Scott Davison. Scott drums for The Suffering, and they're not a part of this show. Caveman Cult from the West Coast, Daesh Charge, and a Breed. To find out more, you can go to Punk Rock Tacos Facebook page. Whether it's got a grunting vocal, a gut-kicking or ball-kicking hook, or a stone solid groove that makes you mosh and headbang supreme, it's original Chicagoland metal punk alternative rock or power pop that certainly is a big part of the lives of everyone you reach. Get your music to me, Tim Lamping, MP3 waiver flat, or a CD, vinyl, LP, cassette, reel-to-reel tape, timlamp1 at yahoo.com, timcatdj@gmail.com. Send me an email, I'll send you a mailing address before you send me any physical things. Download every episode of Local Loft on podbean.com or stream it on YouTube Music, or the Podbean. Kicking off this episode 407, my third conversation with Stephanie Jennings of Solar. More times than not, the Rockford-based melodic hard rock band has teamed up with Convoy. I played Convoy from Frantically Calm, the 4th Solar studio album. Stephanie told me they wanted to write and record a kickin' tune in the grungy, hard-driving nature of Convoy, even though the song is not about them. 2/4 of Convoy, 15 years ago this week, singer-guitarist Brian Corbin and drummer Mike McAloo Getz put their hard-driving nature aside for an unplugged acoustic gig in our Cat 1055 studio. This really would be the only time they'd play live on the Cat, and we'd rock back to it. As it happened on Homegrown Tones, November 10th, 2010.
It's good to be back in Chicago.
Whether it's motivational metal with a devilish singing drawl, or a heartwarming heartland rock tribute to military veterans, Southland's local musicians and bands are making thoughtful, ear-splitting statements with their original music and lyrics. Statements that require the full attention of you, the Cat 1055 listener, Thursday night at 8 on Homegrown Tones. We last talked to their singer and founding member Brian Corbin back in March. At that time, some of the songs they were working on for their first CD, River of Sorrow, were rough demos, basically, but now they've gone in the studio. A lot of them have gone through a full production, and they sound a lot different and a lot more profound, a lot more energetic as well. Brian Corbin, the lead singer and guitarist of Convoy, is here in our studio, as is drummer Mike Getz. And guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian, do you think that the music, the 12 tracks on River of Sorrow, do you think it has a much more powerful sound now that it's gone through like a full production in the studio? Because you guys have been working at this for a while.
Yeah, it definitely has. Our producer and lead guitar player, Johnny, we give him all the credit for that. He kind of transformed it into something that pretty much was beyond our wildest dreams. I mean, especially the song that we're going to play today, River of Sorrow, totally started out as acoustic, and now it seems like it's an epic song. So
Yes, indeed. It's got like a keyboard treatment, some piano tracks on the studio track here, but even in its stripped down, unplugged version, it's quite religious. It's quite spiritual. You know, a lot of people think that metal, much like Convoy does, is nothing but a bunch of satanic lyrics. That's not true. I mean, there's some heavy religious messages in here. Maybe it's not the second coming of Stryper, but you can definitely hear a lot of great religious messages throughout this album. And take a listen to this. It's a special unplugged rendition of the title track of River of Sorrow from Brian Corbin and Mike Getz of Convoy on Homegrown Tones at the Cat 105.5.
River is calling, takes the air I breathe, never involving me. Hate is the air I breathe. If I am able, I will walk to the edge of the sea. If it calls me, wash the sins from me. Hear them calling, takes the air I breathe. The sins are fading, my hate is upon me. River of sorrow, it takes the air I breathe. River of sorrow, wash it upon me.
A special acoustic performance of River of Sorrow. It's the title track to the debut CD by Convoy. On Homegrown Tones at the Cat 105.5 in our studio, we have Brian Corbin, who is Convoy's lead singer and guitarist, and Mike Getz, who is their drummer. They're not going to hold anything back, and it will be a lot louder and more energetic when they play these songs from the CD at Buster's, 496 Fifth Avenue in Kankakee this coming Saturday, co-headlining with John Daly and Redneck Remedy. Brian, if I can ask you, what do you think the most important part of Convoy sound is in reaching a listener? Is it your distinctive guitar sound? Because it's pretty loud and pretty powerful. I caught your act most recently at Mugshots in Bridgeview. Do you think it's the distinctive hard guitar sound? Maybe it's the singing? What do you think it is really that attracts a listener?
I think it's the fact that metal has gone in a different direction as of late. You have the new metal and all that stuff. Nobody really does old school metal anymore, and I think we steal a little bit of the old school metal and we put a little southern tradition into it, and I think that's what gives it its oomph, yeah,
it's a nice mixture, not only like Pantera, really hard driving metal, style, but also ZZ Top Southern style boogie.
Right.
Track that definitely stands out where that's concerned is Devil's Bounty. But another one I'm going to play, which really showcases their hard, aggressive side, and I'm going to take this right from the CD. This is really catchy. It'll really get the head banging, the head swaying, and the hair flying in all directions, folks. This I Know from Convoy. It's off their CD River of Sorrow on Homegrown Tones on the Cat 105.5. Presenting two sides of Convoy, and that is their heavy, metallic, aggressive side. That side will be dominant when Convoy plays with Redneck Remedy this coming Saturday night at Buster's, 496 Fifth Avenue in Kankakee. There is one place you can go to find out everything about the band, bios, upcoming show dates. That is their Facebook page called Convoy Insanity. They also have a MySpace page. It is myspace.com/ConvoyIL for Convoy, Illinois. Joining us from Convoy tonight on Homegrown Tones at the Cat 105.5 is guitarist and singer Brian Corbin, and also percussionist and drummer Mike Getz. The main inspiration behind your lyrics, some of it's religious. Gasoline, that's a great take charge song. Whatever life throws at me in a single day, however stressful life gets, I can meet it head on. I fill my cup with gasoline. What would you say is the main inspiration behind some of your lyrics, Brian?
Motorcycles. Gasoline was a big part of that. Just everyday life, I think. You know, just going through crap and writing it down. That's what came out.
And religion seems to be a big inspiration on some of your songs. Believe. How can you believe what you cannot see? It could be like a heavy metal modern day version of Jesus Christ Superstar. It's got those religious images in it, and the Flood of the River is another one that's quite religious in nature, and you're going to attempt that in an unplugged fashion, so let's go to it.
Awesome.
Flood of the River from Brian Corbin and Mike Getz of Convoy on Homegrown Tones at the Cat 105.5.
Glass cross falls to pieces. right to the floor. Hate can't be the only answer. Feeling the calm before the storm. You let it rain. You know we're living a lie. It's the flood of the river. It's the flood of the river. You know we're living a lie. It's the flood of the river, it's the flood of the river. One more step and you reach the light. Off your knees you try to fight. Pull the pieces of the stained glass cross. Blood of the devil is the only loss. You know we're living a lie. It's the flood of the river, it's the flood of the river. You know we're living a lie. It's the flood of the river, it's the flood of the river. It's the flood of the river, it's the flood of the river. You know we're living a lie.
A special unplugged version of Flood of the River. You'll find that on Convoy's debut CD, River of Sorrow. And you can pick that CD up at their upcoming gig with Redneck Remedy at Buster's, 496 Fifth Avenue in Kankakee, this coming Saturday night. Go to Convoy Insanity, which is their Facebook page, for more details. Brian and Mike, thanks for coming down tonight and sharing your music with us. And I've been to a couple of your shows, folks, and let me tell you, if you like your music loud and proud, and if you like to shake it around a lot and see the foundation shake, go and see Convoy. Their music speaks volumes. They will not let you down. Guys, thanks for coming down tonight.
Tim, thank you so much to you and the Cat and for everything that you've done for us, brother. So thanks.
Brian Corbin also hopes to devote attention to his much more aggressive metal band Down to Rest, along with the success of Convoy and many gigs that support their brand new CD, River of Sorrow. Both Convoy and Down to Rest will be part of an upcoming event following the Toys for Tots motorcycle parade. It's a post-concert of sorts happening at Bobby McGee's in Chicago Ridge, December 3rd. Go to Convoy's official Facebook page, Convoy Insanity, or myspace.com/down-to-rest-USA for more details. And on that MySpace, you'll find this track. This one combines a Zeppelin no quarter-like sound at the beginning and breaks into sort of a aggressive Metallica fade to black sound toward the end. Never Fall Again on Homegrown Tones at the Cat 105.5.